थोड़ा वेट करें नहीं should we start
सर अभी बहुत कम ही है, around only just 153.
but only thing is they know that we are waiting so they will keep joining late only.
So then we can start.
I think those who are interested are already here now. So let them join. Bharat, you have a bio or should I read?
So from my side, there is no hurry. आप और 2-3 मिनट रुकना चाहेंगे तो we can do that also.
Sir, I don't have the bio.
We are just मैं करता हूँ. Google Drive पे मैंने अभी लगा है.
Shall I do it, sir?
Oh yes, why not?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
So good afternoon, participants. We have today Mr. Ratish Iyer from company Bridge People, who are connected with Grammarly INC. So we welcome him. Let's all of us welcome him and thank at the outset for his time and effort joining our program. Welcome, Mr. Iyer. I request Dr. Ravi to read a biography. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, sir. So Mr. Ratish Iyer is a service industry professional. He has diverse experience in airline, hotel, and media lines. His career spans over 15 years, during which he has also held leadership and managerial roles, which involve constant customer interaction in multicultural, dynamic, and even high-risk environments. And having traversed the globe, he has been positively exposed to Asian, European, American, and African work cultures. He strongly believes himself to be a person who appreciates learning, unlearning, growing together, nurturing ideas, and making a mark as an individual and as a team player. And presently, he is the General Manager of Corporate Affairs since December 2019 at Bridge People Technology Solutions Private Limited. And before that, he has worked at various capabilities at Karma Group Global, Prime Focus Technologies, Dashcom Limited Lagos, Lufthansa, at Joint Aviation Authority Europe, and many more. So welcome, Mr. Ratish Iyer. Floor is open for you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vineet, and thank you, sir, for the lovely introduction. And yeah, the one bit I didn't add is I'm also a 2611 survivor. So that's one bit.
Oh, maybe. Okay. We like to listen from you something that way.
Yeah. No, I just mentioned that sometimes it
helps
to relate. You know, you have one event you can relate.
Definitely. Yeah.
Mind map.
No, we are happy to host you anyway.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So to all the participants who have taken their precious time out, thank you so much. I'm sure you have a lot of priorities on your head, and with all this lockdown, unlockdown transition, and again, we don't know third wave or no third wave, but anyway, it's a lot going on at all levels. So thank you for taking out the time. At the outset, my condolences to anybody amidst us who has lost any of their near ones, dear ones in this present pandemic scenario. My prayers and best wishes to your families. And for those who are having any challenges, whether it is your work, whether your research work or anything. So I wish you all the best and stay positive, stay healthy. And on that note, I'd like to begin. So another introduction I would like to say is how I'm connected with Bridge People. My tryst with Bridge People started because of Grammarly. So one of my previous roles was of a content writer, ad copywriting. So I was doing that for a hospitality firm, and a lot of people used to come to me saying, "How do I do this? Is this correct? Proofread." And it used to take a colossal amount of time and effort. So I chanced upon Grammarly, which is the free version, and I just recommend it to the staff. It's free. Just pass it through that. You probably will not need my help. And 70% of these people who would come to me, that it reduced by 70-80%. So only for the fine tuning they would approach me. So I started wondering how great is this tool, and then when I came to know that Bridge People happens to sell the premium version, and that too for esteemed higher academic institutions. And I had the opportunity, I just bagged it, and so Grammarly is the reason why I'm here today. and also some bits I'll share along the presentation. So approximately 60 minutes given to me. We will have our question answers in the end. So what I've also done is I've taken the liberty to share my link with one of my co-hosts. He's our tech support manager. So I understand, we don't like to postpone queries. Whatever possible, we'll try to address it, even if it is a bit technical.
Can you type his email in the chat so that we can let him join as a panelist?
Yes. So his name is Uday Kumar, but he will join probably a bit later, maybe towards the end of the presentation.
Till then, we'll add his email as a panelist, otherwise he cannot join.
Okay.
He is constrained by email actually.
Yeah. So let me, shall I put in the chat message?
Yeah. Take your time, no problem.
Yeah.
So we may not be able to include him. We can send him an invite link.
Yeah, if you could, I'll just share this. Yeah. So that's
we can send an invite to Mr. Uday Kumar, and
Sir.
then we search the attendees so that we can make him panelist later.
Yeah. So I've just taken the liberty because sometimes we need not wait.
Sure. No
Yeah,
problem.
that is why.
He's welcome.
And he's always my co-host at any event. So I take the demo part of it, and he answers any technical related questions.
We welcome him.
He will be joining us.
No problem.
All right. So with that, I'll just start the presentation now. Okay, sir, I assume that the participants who are there will be unable to actively participate, right? But they can participate in the chat.
Yes, but if someone is interested, they can raise their hand and we can unmute them so they can.
Okay, no, I think we'll take the chat mode. Okay, so yeah, I also happen to be a life coach, life skills trainer. So this is a question which I take for both this kind of a session also, because it concerns communication is part of this. So my question to all the attendees today, okay, so let's say for your success, there are 3 parameters, okay, academic qualification, and then you have experience, okay, and professional experience, and third is communication skills. Qualification, experience, communication skills. These 3 are important. Now, according to you, what do you think, how much each parameter contributes in terms of percentage? So for example, someone may say qualification 30%, someone will say experience 50, communication 20, 30, 50, 20. Someone will say 40, 40, 20, somebody will say 10, 40, 60, whatever. So we can use the chat forum, please. So it will avoid any this thing. I'm already getting the first set of answers. Right, so we are almost at the end of the day. So I thought let's make it a bit that gives some time for others also to join us. Let me see if somebody has. Okay, so someone says equally. Okay, I had one session where somebody actually put 33.33. So yeah, all are important, but I'm sure there is sometimes you tend to give different weightage. Okay, so okay, I'm getting the first set 30, 30, 40. Qualification, then communication. Okay. All right. So why am I sharing this? Both as a life coach or even concerning Grammarly, we all have our perspectives. Somebody saying 70% communication. Someone says, if I go in that qualification, experience, communication ratio, 30, 30, 40. Okay. So we all have our perspectives, right? Now, what is the answer to that? So I'll just open the slide. Okay. And it's interesting why I'm sharing this. Okay. So let me first start with sharing the screen. Sir, I'll just stop sharing my video so we have enough bandwidth engage with. Yeah. All right. So I think my screen is visible, sir. If someone could just confirm.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Thank you.
Visible.
So thank you. Welcome to Grammarly, presented by Bridge People, the proud exclusive resellers for Grammarly in India, world's #1 research writing tool. More on Grammarly, but just after this bit. which we've just discussed. So we're looking at communication. Communication is the topic, and that's why the question came in, right? So Grammarly concerns the written part of communication. Now here, the answer is it depends. Now there is no perfect answer. So I can only give you an alternative perspective, which you may agree with, you may not agree with. You don't have to. But if somewhere this gives us a point to think upon, then why not? So no matter what job you have in life, your success will be determined 5% by your credentials, 15% by your experience. So knowledge, application, 80% more by your communication skills, conveyance or presentation, right? As somebody who's, as just introduced, coming from a background where communication has really been my bread and butter, I kind of agree to that quote. A bit about me. I'm a published author. This was my first book, and this is a self-published book of poems. Just 2 months ago, I released my first non-fiction book. And why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because Grammarly has really played an important part. The manuscript for this book was lying with me for 2-3 years, I think. And the issue was I've never done a non-fiction. I didn't know how to quote this. So I knew that I had to ensure it's an ethical book. All the sources are quoted, properly. And I didn't know. And that is where Grammarly's citation feature was a very, very big help to me. And of course, with the writing checks and all, the book is really getting good reviews. So I'm quite happy because, in the current lockdown scenario, I don't know how many of you being research writers have faced this something called writer's block, where, the idea is there, everything is there, but somewhere it's not moving ahead. So Grammarly is one tool which will really, really help you get going. Now, from our experience in Bridge People, when we see the statistics during this entire lockdown since 1 year, what we have seen is writing and usage of Grammarly has really gone up, because with the time available, people having really nothing much other than being locked inside their homes, and they are using their time productively. And one example is this, where I could actually get it published in just a matter of 2 weeks, editing, putting all the citations on. So that was something I'm really proud of whenever I talk about Grammarly. Now coming to Grammarly as a company. So you can see the graph here. Let me just push it a bit. So started in 2009, and just in a short time, a lot of developments, So how do we see Grammarly now? Grammarly has been listed in Forbes top 100 cloud companies list, and the valuation is over $2 billion, so which makes it a unicorn company. 30 million plus active daily users since 2017. So you can see just 2 years ago, we were looking at 20 million, now 30 million plus. And I believe by December, it would probably touch 40 million. Maybe the pandemic may play a big role in this. Now, why Grammarly? So the objective of the company is to help people communicate effectively. I would put it as in brackets, accurately and also effectively. How it does it? It takes English grammar data and process it using AI techniques. That is a combination of both machine learning and NLP. So English, which is a natural language processing. Okay. And the beauty of the tool is it does not write for you. So the first thing anybody with an aversion to technology or a hesitation there would first say, okay, what if this, takes away my, creativity, my thinking, and so it does not happen. Why? Because Grammarly works on the context that you write and gives you suggestions. So you are the one who's going to decide what fits. It is just like a second pair of eyes for you, working alongside. So it inspires you to write proficiently and check your finished work. It's like a writing coach or assistant 24/7. And I can't emphasize enough 24/7 being the very, very key word here in these times. Who are some of our esteemed patrons? I'm very happy to note that amongst us, our participants today, many of them are already Grammarly subscribers. Some have already had a trial of Grammarly, but maybe they're considering whether to go ahead or not. And some have used before, but probably may come in future. So either case, what I see is a lot of you are already aware of this product. So IIIT's ISS, we always give the name of these top institutes because 90% of the top 100 NRF ranked institutions, they are already our Grammarly customers. So about us as a company, Bridge People, we're offering three main solutions: research and ranking, learning and training, and library automation services. So for those who are very much into research, you could check out our website, bridgepeople.in, or you could leave us a query: Altmetric, Dimensions, Figshare. Now, Figshare is an open access repository, and it's a fantastic tool. I'll not go much into it because of the limited time. But yes, these three products will be of interest to you. Libraries that wish to migrate or considering migrating to the cloud platform, SpringShare is an excellent product, as it has been made in collaboration with a community of librarians for librarians. So a best example would be IIM Bangalore's website. If you look at it, the library website entirely is devised on SpringShare. And when the pandemic started, it was one of the few institutions which really didn't have an issue with the library operations. Also, we have partnered with one of the top 3 companies in the world for RFID, which is FE Technologies. So that's a bit about us. Now let's talk about you. So some of you may be students, some of you are already faculty members, some of you have already done your PhD, some of you are pursuing. Now, especially if I have to ask the experienced people, what do you think about this statement? How true is this? I think most of you would say how true with an exclamation mark, right? I remember speaking to a dean once in Maharashtra, and he said he took 3 weeks to come up with an abstract of his paper, and then probably another week to just think of a suitable title and whatnot. So it's really not an easy one. Do we make mistakes along the way, right? So yes, otherwise we wouldn't grow, right? Now, what are the common mistakes researchers make? So incoherent structure, you can see the corresponding impact. Weak thesis statement, missing evidence, improper citations, poor spelling and grammar. Now, very evidently, the last point is talking about writing, but overall, if you see, it is all about writing and presentation in a big way, right? And why are we so focused on writing? Because believe it or not, 85% of articles getting rejected by international publishers is really because of the writing challenges. Unlike what we assume, plagiarism is important, yes, but that is expected, that we are not to be plagiarizing it. But what will make the impact for a publisher, because publisher is concerned about, the publishers really are concerned about their end users. So will it make that impact? So that's where we talk about writing challenges. Now, writing errors do happen. We are humans, so we go through emotional factors, physical factors, social factors, cognitive factors, language factors, right? And it's very difficult, being humans, forget all these factors. How good are we at even handling one of these factors, right? So it's not really an easy one. So talking about writing challenges, if I have to very simply put in 2 categories, your challenge could be either improper writing, or it may be proper, but is it effective enough, right? So I'm going to take you through very, very basic examples in layman terms, but I'm sure you'll be able to relate to your academic writing. So haphazard writing, what happens? Jargon overload, too much of jargon, poor punctuation. And it's one of the very difficult parts of English grammar, right? So we don't know when to use a hyphen, semicolon. Some people really face that challenge. Inconsistency, excessive abstraction. So for those who are very new to research writing, what do I mean by this excessive abstraction? Let's look at these examples. You can avoid making your sentences wordy. Use simple examples, but still the essence is not lost. And especially when you write for journals with a prescribed word limit, then brevity is something you can always fall back on. They say brevity is the soul of communication, right? All right, continuing, unclear antecedents. Now, what do I mean by this? So in this example, observe the results and add these to a worksheet. Okay, now I already know these is in reference to results because we have established that. Now, sometimes you get an example where the clarity is not there. Here, trainees should mark their schedules in the notebooks provided. Okay. Then in the group calendars. Okay. The manager is responsible for them. So who, what? Trainee schedules, notebooks, or is it group calendars, right? So in academic writing, you should avoid ambiguity, especially when you're doing scientific writing, technical writing. Dense presentation, stifling. right? So you could consider breaking into smaller paragraphs or bullet points, because even if your paper is good, is it engaging the reader? Importance of parallelism, a very favorite example amongst grammarians. So in one go, you think the sentence may look correct, right? For breakfast, we like eggs, and to grill bacon, no doubt. But the problem is we are mixing the noun form and verb form together. Why not just stick to one form? Right? So very subtle things matter, right? We have oversight during our writing, but it can make a lot of difference. Now, why would it make a lot of difference? You can see teachers from the perspective of faculty members, 80% of time just goes in correcting English. I mean, something to really think upon, especially when you're in the higher education space now. And what would any teacher want? So I come from a family of, my mother's been an English teacher, her father was an English professor. So whether English or not, any teacher would want that students take responsibility for correcting your words, because you are there to actually help them with their ideas, right? Make every interaction qualitative. Now, why Grammarly Edu? So Edu is nothing but the premium suite of Grammarly. So we come to this, but just to take you through some key points. So if you have subscribed to Grammarly Edu, or if you're on trial, or you would have already, those who have already subscribed will note that there is a quality improvement program in place. You can set benchmarks for submissions. And as an individual, you can publish more with confidence. So I gave you an example where my manuscript was stuck for so many years, and I just got the confidence to edit it so easily. Right? Similarly, you may have more papers to come with, so when the research output goes up, obviously it will have a positive impact on the institution's ranking. Plagiarism bit. Now, we have to be very clear here. People often compare Grammarly with a dedicated plagiarism checker. And our insight here is that Grammarly, if you recall the previous slide, where is Grammarly tackling? Grammarly is tackling the huge chunk of rejection, which is because of writing, the 85% bit. So that is where Grammarly's focus is. But it is not ignoring the other part of it, which is very, very essential, plagiarism part of it, right? So where is it helping? It is helping predominantly at the grassroots level, right at the writing stage itself. So if I'm a student, I'm writing, I don't have to, cross my fingers and after submission wonder what is the result that will come out, whether I have to rewrite my paper or it will get totally rejected. So within my control at the writing stage, if I have given enough citations and I have ensured that I've given the best, I can actually be reassured. And whatever needs to be checked through a dedicated plagiarism checker, that filtration may happen with very minimum something, or probably nothing at all, right? So most esteemed institutions, even those amongst us, they have a combination of both Grammarly and a dedicated plagiarism checker. So that way you are able to tackle both the issues, and there is a higher chance of your paper getting passed. Now, Grammarly checks contextual spelling errors. Compared to a Word document, 400 more types of errors. So that's a very bold statement. So the demo that I'm going to show you now is in two parts. One is how Grammarly's online editor works. And second, when you have a plugin on a Word document, how does that help? So that is where this statement will reflect. Punctuation, sentence, style. So the three globally accepted styles, especially in journals, APA, MLA, Chicago. Citation audits, vocabulary enhancement. Okay, so before I take you through the demo, right, a quick, a small icebreaker here. So what is wrong with this sentence? Now, you can use the chat forum. I will check this answer. Okay, so first is, do you think anything is wrong? You can say no. If you think something is wrong, what is wrong in this simple sentence? I didn't realize your favorite color is green. Full stop. Okay. So you can take a screenshot, or maybe you can quickly note it in your notepad. In 5 seconds, I will just transition from here. Transit from here. Okay. I didn't realize your favorite color is green. Okay. So let me go through the chat once I get some of your answers. All right. So let me. Okay. Some answers are coming. The answers are popping up. Someone is saying was green. Somebody saying it's about tense. Okay. Right. So I'm sure more answers are coming. Let me just quickly move. And now coming to the demo. Okay, so hold on to your answers. Once I finish with the demo, we'll come back to this. Okay, now before I talk about the tool, how it works, just for information, where Grammarly is really, you can see here, you can always have the free version online, right? So you don't need, there's no difficulty in that, but that will help you for casual writing, basic spelling checks, grammar, punctuation, conciseness. But with this premium, which is actually tailor-made for your academic writing, you get everything of this, plus you have clarity, focus, sentence rewrite. So some of this we are going to look in, we're going to spot this on the demo now. Okay, tone adjustments, plagiarism detection, we'll come to that. Word choice, how can you take better words based on your writing goals? Formality level, would you like it informal or formal or neutral? Fluency, and of course there will be many more advanced suggestions. Now the success of Grammarly, you can see here, 76% users find writing more enjoyable, 85% are now stronger writers, and 70% users found that there is an increased level of writing confidence. So let's see how this is really helping. Now, how we normally do this is we have a registration process, whether you're on trial or you're a subscribed customer, you register this and we activate the domain ID, and that's how the process is in short. So for that, you have to join your organization and do all that. So once you've registered, just come back. So I'm going to log in now. So Grammarly works entirely, remotely. Wherever you are, all you need is your laptop, good internet connection, and you're good to go. So once you successfully log in, you can see the edu tag here. So this is the Grammarly's premium version. So this is the dashboard. So once you're new to Grammarly, you'll just find this one box here. Then whenever you work on documents, they get auto saved here. So it's like your email inbox, your drafts. You can access it anytime, download it or delete it. So I'll come to this in a bit. I'll just take you through some features here. Basic settings, account, your name, password, and how you can assign a mail for Grammarly to send notifications. So that is important because any kind of new features that come, you will get a notification there. That will be very useful. And then you can delete your account at any time. And this is an optional feature. Most of my writing is for school, work, or other. Okay, so that's a basic setting. The next setting here is very interesting. In fact, I would recommend users to actually once check this out and then start checking your paper. So in customize, you can actually set your personal dictionary. Sometimes you work on a subject where these words don't find, you don't find them in the regular dictionary. Maybe it is in the science jargon. So you need to add them. Now, these are some words which I used for my manuscript. So it will be there. At any time I can delete it. I can add new words, and Grammarly will not flag it as a misspelling. Now, language. Now, where Grammarly is really now making advancement is here. One is where am I and where do I want to go? So what is my writing goal? Who am I writing for? That is also always a very important question. So is it for a British journal? Is it for an American journal, Canadian, Australian? So which English is required? I can choose that. So those conventions will apply. Fluency assistance, by default, it is on here. Now comes this part. If you're a proficient or fairly proficient English speaker writer, you can leave this as default. But sometimes we have people from, with very strong native influence. So you can see here, I have some languages here amongst many international languages. There's Assamese, the Indian languages. There's Bangla, Bhojpuri. Okay, there will be Hindi. There is Punjabi. Okay, Gujarati, Haryanvi. Okay, so you can see that actually a lot has been added now. It's I think in a matter of 2 weeks I'm seeing these changes. So Grammarly is constantly evolving. There's Kashmiri, Kannada is a latest edition. I think yesterday or today this got added. What else? Malayalam was not there before. Tamil was there. Tamil is still there. Urdu. Okay, so there's lot of this thing. So you can just choose it. And what will happen is sometimes now if I have to take a crude example, very crude example, mujhe pani chahiye. Okay, so in Hindi, but in English we don't say I water want, right? So the structure is different. So something similar. I may think that this is the thing, but Grammarly will understand because of my native influence. I am actually trying to literally translate this way, but the English convention is different. So here this will be very helpful to all users. Then comes suggestions. So there are some default settings here. You can customize as per your requirement, whether you want passive voice on, off, and there are other things here. So these are some great features here. Before even starting to check your document, you can set this. Now, amongst the latest features, we have something called snippets. So what are snippets? Let me see if I have something on this. So it's nothing, but basically you can create. So here, what will happen is, for example, if I create a snippet, these are basically templates. So if I create this thing, especially when you're writing emails, so you can have a snippet for a follow-up or a condolence message or a purchase order follow-up or whatever. So if you have that, you can actually set that snippet title here. You can have a body written here. So there is a pre-set draft. So anytime you're doing your documents or your mails, you include the snippet, the basic template will be there. And I wish to remind you that this is due, and you just need to fill the key details. That's it. So that saves. It's basically an efficiency tool, and that will be very helpful. Right. Okay. Then let's look at what else is there. So subscription security. Yeah, security. Most people ask how safe is Grammarly and all. So you have something here. Grammarly's user trust guidelines. You can just put grammarly.com/trust, and you will see the entire declaration here, how Grammarly treats your data and all that. So just for those who don't know, Grammarly is compliant with both European Union's GDPR and USA's CCPA, data privacy regulations. Apart from this, I can also show you another link, especially in these times. I'm sure these are the questions that come up. How safe is Grammarly? So here you can see Grammarly has so many compliances here. So this entire grammarly.com/security, part of Cloud Security Alliance, and I'm sure these are technical things. You can check it out at leisure. Right, so there you go. Now we come to, let me go back and come to the real thing, which is how to work on your document. So Grammarly works on two things. One is you have a new document. I mean, you want to write new if you're writing fresh. Or if you have something to copy paste from a website to proofread or something, you click on new and you just put the content and start checking. Or if you have any document to upload, you can upload that. Now, for example, I have an uploaded document here. I will open this. I mean, whenever I upload, it will come like this. Okay, now when you upload, you have to ensure that it is an editable document. So Grammarly does not take PDF files or anything, only editable documents. So here, as soon as you open this document, what will actually happen is the goals will pop up. So set your goals in advance. Who's your audience? General, knowledgeable, expert. What level of formality you prefer? Informal, neutral, formal, domain, academic, business, general, and all this, right? So I can select one in all this. So let me just go about setting this, assuming that it's an academic paper. Okay, and then tone. tone and intent, I can have more than one. So, okay, how do I wish to sound? Neutral, confident. Okay, and of course, depending on your academic paper, intent, is it to inform, is it to describe, is it to convince or tell a story? So let's say these are my basic requirements, and now I'm going to say done. So now Grammarly is actually going to assess this paper based on the goals that I've set, right? And then it will give those suggestions accordingly. So what it says here is, you will see different colors. So each color corresponds to a feature here. So red is for correctness, blue is for clarity, green is for engagement, and purple is for delivery. There is something called style guides, which is in the beta version, where an organization can actually set its own brand writing guidelines, communication guidelines, whatever, and whoever associated with that organization follows those guidelines. Right? Otherwise, Grammarly will give an alert that this is not. So this is something which is found in the business module for corporates, but this once it is approved, we may find it here in the EDU. So here you will see here overall score. I'll come to that in a bit, but it was something in 65 when I had the default setting mode. With my customized goal, it is now showing 44. So as and when I keep taking corrections, the score will improve. So how does this work? So on the left, you have your entire content. You can go line by line and do the checks, or you come to these suggestions here. Wherever you click, it will show you where is it reflecting. Right? For example, here it's saying for years I have been driving an old car, supposed to be an. Okay. Why? It's an article issue. So if I'm happy with this, I click okay, and automatically there is a prompt to undo. Right? So even if I dismiss, it will ask me, do you want to undo? Similarly here, used car with a lot of mileage. So because my goal was formal, it is saying this may be a little casual. How about much, with much mileage? All right. And I hate it. So here, what does it say? Would you like to sound more diplomatic? There's a better way to rephrase this. So I can choose that. Similarly here, one other red, it's annoying that I have to take it to mechanic. So what is the issue here? Grammar spelling issue. Supposed to have an apostrophe. Either you write the full form or shorten it this way, but an apostrophe is missing. Take it to mechanic every times. Either it is the mechanic or a mechanic, right? So like this, you can actually go and nowhere does it do auto correction. You are the one who's going to decide which correction you would like. And anytime you have a difficulty, you can just click on this learn more and it will give an explanation. Why is it suggesting like this? Right? And then you have this blue, which is for clarity. Would you like to make it more clear? So when I click on here, it is giving me a ready to rephrase sentence. Now, if I read through both, if I'm satisfied, I can take this, right? So it saves me the trouble to write and then pass it through a Grammarly check. It's immediate. So here I can do that, or I can just dismiss this, right? Let me look at some other color. I'll just quickly go through this. Some important ones I'll just show you. See here, I'll be able to make the decision at my own. Supposed to be make the decision on my own, but Grammarly is going one step further and saying, can we make it concise and accurate? So here, I will be able to decide on my own. Right? I don't have much option. Now, in talking English, we always interchange this, right? But supposed to be many options. It's a quantifier issue. So like this, I can show you one more example here now with green, which is to do with how to engage it better. So here, let's look at, let me come back. I talked to the saleswoman and listened at she carefully. Okay. So here, it sounds monotonous. Would you like to rephrase this? Right. So you rephrase this and Grammarly will be able to help you with the suggestion. Similarly, she had a lot of very helpful and after a long discussion. Okay, now I'll quickly take you through this. So long is often overused. Would you like to use lengthy? Okay. And this is an interesting one. she not only helped me with the paperwork and finished the sale, but also the insurance. Now, with the correct usage, it is suggesting this way. She helped me with the paperwork and finished not only the sale, but also the insurance. So there is a way to use the combination of not only, but also, which it is suggesting here. Now, this is a demo document, so I'm sure you'll be wondering why is it so casual, but it's just to show you how the tool works. So I gathered the 3-page paperwork, so a hyphen is missing here. Right. So like this, you can go on and check your documents. And so there is a third way to approach this, which I prefer when I do my manuscripts, is I go with individual parameters. So here, let me first check only for correction. So in this correctness thing, it will show me that there is a total of 32 correctness related issues. So I can quickly do this, and not only is it fast, but it is also the basic check. So this I have to ensure. The rest is all fine tuning. So here it's, can I change this? Take it to mechanic every time and no in a week. So like this, you can go about doing all your correctness related checks first. Next, you can come to only clarity related checks. And once you're done with that, you can check for only engagement related checks. Okay. And then you can just check for only delivery related issues. Okay. So like this, you can go with individual checks also. Now, once you've done with all your checks, there is also here, it will show you this document has so many words, so many characters, reading time, speaking time, and there is a score also. So I'll come to the score in a bit. Let's look at now the plagiarism part of it. So here, by default, it is inactive. I click this and then it will show me only for plagiarism related alerts. So it looks at the entire document and says there is a 90% score here for plagiarism. So I just have a quick glance. Yeah. So many places. And when I come to any one portion, I just click, it will tell me. So this portion here, 18% of this text is showing critical similarity to this source. Now, if I know that this is the thing, I just need to attribute the source. So what is the requirement? Should I just have to copy the link and show? Then I can do that. Copy the link, and then in my reference list, I can just add that. But sometimes you are required to actually do a proper citation. So you have the options here, MLA, APA, or Chicago format. So let's say I choose one here, APA. So here, Grammarly gives access to OWL, Online Writing Lab of Purdue University, US. So this is where Grammarly was incubated, this university, just for information. Okay, so now you have the index here. You can target what exactly you're looking for, or let's even look at this entire spectrum here. So here, the guide works this way. You have what are you trying to quote, the source. So there is an explanation followed by the way to do this, the format, and then you have the example here. So Grammarly will not do auto citation. It is only showing you the way to do it. It's giving a reference here. Okay. So probably maybe in future we may have the feature of auto helping you directly do it. But for now, this is the feature here. So what are you trying to quote? Are you quoting something from Wikipedia article, or maybe from journals with DOIs, without DOIs? Or is it an abstract that you're trying to quote? Or is your source an online news article or Kindle books, dissertation, right? Thesaurus, encyclopedia, any kind of data set. So maybe any map, table charts, infographics, any graphical representation of data, any online interview that you're trying to quote the source, online lecture notes, software. Now on the social front, yeah, is there an email that you're referring to, online forum, discussion posting? Now on the social media here, Twitter, you have the option of Facebook, Instagram, or blogs, YouTube, or any other streaming video, or TED Talk, or even podcast, right? So there's a big spectrum here. You can see wherever your online source is. It's easy to refer to this format and come back to your document, and then in your reference list do the due diligence, right? So it will not do any auto citation for you. So assuming that you've done your writing checks, you've done your plagiarism part of it, you've given the due sources, everything is ready. Before you exit this, you might want to save it. It will get auto saved. But if you wish to download or print, sorry, let me just go back to the document. So you can download or print, yeah. So that can be done here. Now uploading, like I told you, it has to be an editable file. So it has to be .docx, .odt, .rtf, or .txt. Okay. And once that done, you can also check on this feature, score feature. So this will give you a quick overview. This document has scored so much based on these parameters, right? So to get a detailed report, you just download the PDF report. Now this takes a couple of seconds. So what I've done is I already have a downloaded document here to show you. This is how it will look. So you have the file name, done by who. There is a general metric here, right? The overall score performance here. How many characters, words, sentences, reading time, speaking time. So if you're presenting this paper for a conference, this will be very helpful. Then of course you have the score specific to writing. What is the statistics here? Specific to plagiarism. Okay. So the first page itself, you have an idea as to what to expect from the report and the document submitted as such. Now from the second page, you will see the strength of the author. So here writing issues tackled, delivery related, correctness related issues, clarity related, engagement related, right? But also on the positive side, unique words used, rare words used, what is the average word length, average sentence length, right? So now you have the impression of the author as well. Now comes the content as such. So here the entire content, it's like the X-ray of your document with all the color codings here, serial marked here. And when you come to the end of this, it shows you each serial number, what was it regarding. So the first one was regarding delivery, second was again regarding delivery. So here, fourth, fifth, like this. Now, how does it work here? You can see here, first one, the suggestion was given, but nothing was taken. It was dismissed or just left. But in the fifth one, I am was suggested and I am, this suggestion was implemented in serial number 5. So like this correctness, then again, for clarity here, serial number 30, there's a change that was done. Okay, similarly, when we go further, engagement related. So serial number 51, instead of long, lengthy word choice. So like this, after all your writing checks, in the end, you will see regarding originality. So this portion came from this source, this came from this source, right? So you know what are the sources also that was referred to. Now, if I'm the evaluator, I'm the guide, then this document alone is a very good way for me to check it. All I need to see is, okay, it's gone through Grammarly. Okay, which were the corrections that were taken, fine, but which was not taken in spite of the suggestion. Why? What was the whole context? So you can discuss only those, focus on those and ask the student, okay, what was the challenge here? Right? So that saves on a lot of time and effort there. So this is recommended. It's optional, but you can submit this score. Where is this feature available? Now, you have this score feature here in this Grammarly online editor, which we are in. And you will also find this available if you download Grammarly as a desktop shortcut, Grammarly for Windows. Okay? So there you get this, these two places. Where you can't get it is when you are working on a Word document with a Grammarly plugin. So that's the second part of the demo. I'm just quickly going to move to that. A bit of information here. So what are the benefits you have? You can have Grammarly applications for Microsoft Office, whether you're on Word or Outlook. You can have it for as browser extension. So not just Chrome, even if you're on Firefox, Safari, or Microsoft Edge. Okay, so that will be helpful there. So now I move to the second part of the demo, and this will be a quick one. So here I have a Word document, and now assuming that I have installed the Grammarly app here. So on the right side here, it is showing me, would you like to open this document with Grammarly? So now let me first show you that this document has gone through a intensive word check. Okay, so very few highlights here. The author name here, And okay, then we have one here called glioma. Let's go down further. Okay, the FDA have suggested, what else? Okay, the other was to analyze. So I think the third or fourth one this was. I think that's, yeah, one more here, all cause. So you have about 4 or 5, you can count on the fingertips, right? So it's Word has done a good job here. All looks okay. Now the same thing I'm going to open with Grammarly, and you will see the difference. So how this works is exactly like the online editor. The difference is that here you know, the file size unlimited, so it will just check this, but you don't have the PDF score report feature on this yet. So it's not available here. That is the only difference, but everything else works the same. You can set your goals, okay, and once you set your goals, you can check the entire document line by line, or maybe you want to just start with correctness related checks, only clarity related, only engagement checks, only delivery checks first. So you can do that. Plagiarism here by default is off. So when I want to check, I can turn that on. Let me come back to the default here, all issues. Now here, you can, first I'll show you the document, the entirety. See this here, different colors here. Right, so if not every line, every paragraph has some or the other alerts here. Right. Now I'll just take the first paragraph as an example here to check. So mobile or cell phones are nowadays supposed to be one word. What else? Green here. What is green? Engagement. How can I use better words, engaging words? Now instead of 2 weak words, I'm using 1 strong word, proliferating, snowballing, multiplying. I have all these options here. Right? So that gives that richness to the document. Saudi Arabia rank first, supposed to be ranks first, grammar issue. But if I take the entire set here, it is showing for clarity. Would you like to rephrase this? Now I'm okay with this. I click on replace. If I don't want, I click on dismiss. If I wish to more, let me just click on these 3 dots. It is going to give an explanation here, just like we saw in the online editor. What else? Okay, study by United Nations. And then let's see. Okay, study by United Nations, supposed to be by the United Nations conference. A small increase. Can we use slight, because small is often overused? Then major public health implications. How about significant? Right? On long-term basis, on a long-term basis, article missing. What else? Now this is a something which I used to really be facing a challenge. Always confusion between when to use which, when to use that. Very late in life, I realized when you're supposed to use this. So that also is there here. Check. Again, what is the issue here? Hyphen missing. So you can imagine this one paragraph alone, so many we have spotted. So the rest of the document also we will be able to work it out. So that's where that's how this works. Same with plagiarism. When I click on, it moves from the writing checks to the plagiarism checks. So it will show me overall percentage of plagiarism, which portion came from which source, all that it will show here. So it takes some time because it checks for various sources. Yeah, so you can see all these sources here, different sources. Then I have something here from BMJ, British Medical Journal. So it shows here this portion here came from so and so link. And how do I wish to cite this? So here MLA APA Chicago, same way. If I click on any of this, it will take me to the OWL guide. Right. So this is how it works. So that's a quick demo for you. Let me now come back to the presentation and quickly give it a conclusion. Okay, so while you're digesting what was just shown to you, let me revisit the quiz that was just asked before I started the demo. So I didn't realize your favorite color is green. Now I have not seen the chats, I'm sure, but I could see a few. Yes, I can all see some answers here. So somebody says that is missing. Somebody says supposed to be a past tense or was, and then Someone would say, no, the sentence looks okay. I don't think there is an error, right? There are many possibilities. So what is the answer? The answer is, again, it depends. Why am I saying it depends? Now, if you're writing in American English, I'm sure most of you know, realize is the right spelling, but favorite and color, the U is not supposed to be there for American English. I'm sure most of you know. Similarly, if I'm writing in British English, then realize spelling is wrong, supposed to be S, but the other two are correct. I'm sure most of you know all this. But what if I say the entire sentence is correct? Then in what context am I saying? So the context is Canadian English. According to Canadian English, this sentence is not wrong. This is how it is used. Maybe the history of Canada with a mixture of different cultures or whatever. According to Canadian English, this is okay. It's not wrong. So it will be very helpful. Now you know from goal setting that you have an option of Canadian English to choose from if you're writing for Canadian journal. So something like this will be very, very useful. Right? Where else can Grammarly help you? So those who are very much into operations depend on emails to important stakeholders. So not only basic correction checks, but with this premium feature, you are actually able to send out effective mails. Now in this example, there are a set of items that are asked to be sent. So here, instead of a paragraph, Grammarly is suggesting, would you like to put it reformat in bullet form? Would you like to bold the key information? Right, which is the date here. So your emails also will be very, very effective. Right? What else? So Grammarly also works like a writing coach. Okay, so here it takes a particular period and shows you that this is the statistics here. Now more details here. How was your activity? How was your level of mastery? How was your vocabulary? So for first time users, this is really, really interesting. Now, all this is for what? So we would like our paper to get published, your manuscript to be published. Now, whether it gets published or rejected, it's the tip of the iceberg that the world sees. But only you know how much of efforts have gone into this, right? Now, are we looking at only publishing or something beyond this? Now, this is where you have to see the impact of Grammarly. Profound statement here. Even after your paper is published, if it is written in poor English, the impact of the paper will get reduced. Yeah, that's why? Because especially in the mainstream English language journals, this is a very, very important factor. Where are we coming to? If you recall the goal setting in Grammarly, so it all comes to that. I may have written a very ethical paper. I may have passed it through an intense grammar check and everything. But here I am submitting for a British journal using American English, gone, or vice versa. Right? Such a simple thing may actually make a long-term impact. So obviously the publisher will wonder, have you kept our audience in mind? So that is where your impressions will also come into play. So anything that you write, whether it's a text message or email or an academic paper, as a writer, are you demonstrating attention to detail? Are you exercising critical thinking? What is your level of intellectual aptitude? So one of the checks we just saw, right? It's with the difference of an apostrophe, especially with all the modern apps and tools to instantly get your answers. In spite of this, if you're making a mistake, any examiner, recruiter, anybody may wonder what else you may have failed to learn that could have been useful. Now, quick statistics. When with the last year ending, Grammarly did a quick survey and found that now users are putting extra effort into not only what they have to say, but now how are they going to put it across. I'm sure all of you would have come across mails where stay safe, stay healthy. Also a lot of communication. This thing has changed in this few months. So engagement and delivery are very, very important now. And fortunately, in the premium version, you have these checks available. A very good example here in terms of sensitivity, like no matter what the political scenario, you have to ensure that you're not using anything awkward, derogatory, controversial, anything that can backfire, right? So Grammarly is able to have a good check for you here. Use the appropriate language. So your grammar is a reflection of your image, good or bad. You have made an impression, and like all impressions, you are in total control. So in summary, where can Grammarly help you? So for those who are very new to this tool and are considering Grammarly for your subscription this year, you can see that it's going to help you in anything to do with academic writing. Apart from that, business writing. And even creative writing, even if it's your personal book that you're coming up with, or casual writing. Right. So in summary, we just this is the last few slides now. Success with Grammarly. People from all walks of life have been experiencing success with Grammarly. There is one feedback here amongst the many that are there on our website, but I really wish to bring this to your notice. So you can see the second paragraph here. Particularly those from remote rural areas will find that Grammarly adoption is very easy, and writing as such, the English language will not come in the way of academic excellence. That is what we would like to do, right? So who are some of our Grammarly users? So apart from whatever I've said, we cater to more than 300 institutions. We have almost all the IITs. We have almost all the IIMs, NITs, CSIR labs. So most of these premier institutions are already on board. And again, in summary, Grammarly's efficacy here, you can see here the popularity in this year. Grammarly has got rewarded for best feature set, customer support, and most loved product 2021 by Trust Radius, and many more in the pipeline. Now, before I end my presentation, you can always check on these few links here. So any queries that you may have, I suggest you take a look at. You just have to type in Grammarly support on your search engine. It takes you to this link, grammarlysupport.com, and it's a proper FAQ. And still, if you have any queries, you can write to us at grammarly@bridgepeople.in. Okay, and I would also recommend that you can also tell your students, your understudies, that they can refer to Grammarly's blog. It's a very nice tool where a lot of topics are covered. I've just picked up 4 or 5 important topics here. Very, very useful. So in summary, you can have brilliant ideas, but if you can't get them across, then your ideas will not get you anywhere, right? So you have all the experience, you have all the knowledge, but if you can't get them across, where am I coming to? The quote with which I started, right? So which is the importance of communication, Daniel Milstein's quote. Right? Okay, so if I have to condense my entire talk in this quick one slide, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and most of you are from the technology field, so I'm sure you'll appreciate, right? With Grammarly, without Grammarly, I think the picture is very, very evident. So thank you so much. Really been a pleasure to host this session. I will take up this query, and I'm just hoping my colleague is also here in case I need assistance. Let me just stop sharing.
We have Binoy and Uday here.
Let me just exit.
Thank you, Mr.
Binoy
Satish.
and Uday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just I'm just exiting this. Just a minute. So how do I stop sharing? Yeah, okay. Yes, so where are we? All right, so we can open for question answers.
Yeah, participants, if anyone of you have any questions, you can raise your hand, you can unmute you. Or
yeah, I saw one question before I exited. Where do you get those blog titles? You just have to in Google say Grammarly blog, and whatever is your keyword, you can just type in research paper, plagiarism, this thing. It will show you relevant titles.
I've shared the links for the blog.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Thanks, Uday. Thank you for joining. In spite of your busy schedule, thank you. Okay, so right, in a free version of Grammarly, which features are available? During the presentation, I showed the comparison. Okay, what is the subscription charge for all the features? So subscription is, yeah, that's a very important question. Just to let you know, for those who have not yet subscribed Grammarly or have already subscribed. So the way academic licenses work is Bridge People is the exclusive resellers for Grammarly in India. And as per the user terms and conditions of Grammarly. Anybody using an academic license has to come through us. Okay, retail model is not permitted, and that will, that's the legal part of it. And the second part of it is coming through us. We work on a wholesale model, so bigger your requirement, the cost per user comes down very, very less. A very good example, I would say, will be Geetham University very recently. And when we had the negotiation with the president, he understood that this is something like per user cost comes to like a cup of tea for an entire year in the canteen, which is very, very recoverable cost. And they went for a whole site license, one of the based on their huge campus thing. So that's just an example I'm saying. So yeah, that's the thing. If you are interested as an institution to subscribe, you can write to us at grammarly@bridgepeople.in, or you can visit our website bridgepeople.in. There is an inquiry listing. You could just leave your query and we'll definitely get back to you. And thank you for all those participants. I can see some of you have participated, and that makes it really, really interactive. Thank you so much. And in fact, most of you have also answered that.
From Reena Gupta.
Yes.
There's a question from Reena Gupta. How to enable Grammarly on phone? We have academic license in our university.
Yeah. Uday, I know we for academic work, it's mostly on the computer, but Uday, would you like to answer this?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So institutional license does not cover the mobile application. However, it is a free to download in your Play Store or the iStore, where you can download. It is in the beta version. Institutional license does not cover the application support for mobiles, but you can download from the Play Store or the iStore.
So that is the free version.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, okay. So since we have a lot of our institutions already aware of Grammarly, I'm sure that's why maybe the queries are very less. What I'll do is let me just I'm just sharing a link which is called Common Questions about Grammarly. Right. So maybe this will be helpful, and in case something you miss out and you feel okay, better to refer to, you can bookmark this. I've just shared in the chat. Okay, so you can bookmark this link, and you can always come back to us in case your queries are still not addressed. So on that note, sir, given our time, we've successfully concluded. Anything from your end, we'll be happy to take it.
Thanks a lot for the informative session, sir. There's another question. Grammarly, will it work on all files, links, and data? Will it work on files, links, and data?
Yeah, so Grammarly, as I said, will work only on editable documents. And I think the question is a bit more specific in.
Yeah, I think this answers the query.
Yeah. So as you've seen in the demo, it works on your Word, anything that is, an example would be something along these lines that come is, I have a PDF document, what do I do? So we suggest you convert to a Word document, pass it through Grammarly, and then you can, again, if you want to reconvert, it's.
Grammarly, there is a Grammarly plugin for Microsoft Word, right?
Yes.
Is there a similar plugin for any LaTeX editors also?
Not yet, sir. Probably it would be in the pipeline. We got this feedback because LaTeX is very popular in the, writing these things. So the suggestions are going, sir. We've noticed that this thing is coming. As of now, we don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, usually what I do with LaTeX is I just forcefully convert the extension TX to TXT, take it to Grammarly and correct and come back. Only thing is those keywords are actually there. So maybe your company can, the software people would be working to include those all possible LaTeX reserved words to skip or something. Then it will be.
Definitely, the feedback can go. And in fact, any user who's, if you're already a Grammarly user and you have this, there is also an option in your settings where you can give feedback. You can directly give the feedback to Grammarly, and it's possible that this would come.
Sure.
Yeah. Can we use
So
Grammarly on
based on my
PDF file? Yeah, you need to convert to an editable document, ma'am, for Grammarly to be working. Yeah, it works on the txt, .doc, .docx. Yeah.
or RTF.
Yes, .rtf. Right. So with on that note, like I mentioned, if anyone needs a license, academic license for your institution, institutional licenses are deeply discounted, and again another round of lockdown comes. This is something which which will be really helpful. The research output will not suffer, and it's a tool what most of you are using, and I'm sure we'll be able to hear from you for those who have now maybe started considering Grammarly as an option for this year. We'll be happy to assist you. Thank you, sir. From our side, we have concluded. We can have your.
I just had a query. In this pandemic, many are in work from home mode. So if they're not in the network, will it work on their personal laptops or desktops?
Yeah, sir.
let
It
me
will
come
work
in.
anywhere. Because it works on what you call Grammarly. You have to go to that URL and then you're feeding it. So any laptop, any this thing, it's a remote
No,
access based thing, sir. It is not system
Ratish,
specific. Yeah.
yeah, no, Ratish, what he's asking is like if an institute purchase licenses,
Huh.
what is the licensing regime? Because a
Yeah.
user may be accessing it from outside the network of the institute.
So let me come in.
Yeah.
Ratish sir, can.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You can.
So as per your query, Grammarly is activated on the email of the particular user. So the user can visit grammarly.com/edu anywhere if he has access to internet and a system, and he can visit the website grammarly.com/edu, and he can log in into his account with the credentials, and he can access the Grammarly account. And if he wants
Institutional
to
license also.
any institutional license, and if he wants to access in two different systems concurrently, Grammarly can allow 2 to 3 systems, and he can log in and keep it in plugins, or he can use it.
That is great. That is much useful.
Yes, sir. Without internet, Grammarly does not work. It's a online application.
Yeah, yeah.
So with
Cloud
internet
based.
only it will
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's one question. Can Grammarly detect the semantics of a sentence?
Okay, sir. If you could explain to me, I'm a bit confused on the semantics part.
Then I'm not sure.
Some example, yeah.
Semantic is for language. Semantic is grammar itself. I don't with my interpretation. What he's saying, semantic. Okay, meaning. Semantic is the meaning of the sentence.
Okay, I think where you're coming from is if I write something gibberish and all that. So if that is the thing, then if my understanding is right, then Grammarly will only check based on NLP. That is the natural way of communicating in English. So if I deliberately type in on the keyboard E, X, Y, Z, something, that may not come as a check because the machine is not built for that. So it will only be checked based on the context that you're writing. Another example, I don't know again if this relates to your query. Ram has come home. Okay. Now, for example, if I just write this sentence, possible that Grammarly may not detect it as an error or anything. Okay. But if I, why? Because or let's say Ram came home and she ate food. Okay. Now it will not show it as an error. Why? Because it will think it is English RAM, RAM. But if you write the entire context, then Grammarly knows you're probably referring to a person. And yes, that's how it works. I don't know if I'm okay. Semantic means logical meaning. Yeah, I think I answered that. Yeah, logical meaning of the sentence. Correct. So for Grammarly to work, it works on the basis of the context. Yeah. So minimum a paragraph for it to give you a proper check. So it does not work just like a normal word check or a quick spell check or something.
Can we have a tentative cost?
Is there any repository in Grammarly? Like I mentioned, you can check out Grammarly security link. Grammarly does not store. I mean, your data is secure, and what you see in your account is like an email draft what you're not gone through. it's with you. And Grammarly is compliant on both European Union's GDPR and as well as USA's CCPA regulations.
There's another question. Can we have a tentative cost of Grammarly for any institute of around 500 employees?
Yeah, so you can always write back to us. These are questions which we normally take it separately. We'll definitely able to understand your requirement better and work to your closely to your requirement. You can write to us. I'll just again put the email here. It is grammarly@bridgepeople.in. Thank you for that query, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. There's another question. Can we ignore passive voice?
Yes, sir. You can. There is a default setting in the customs feature. There is a setting where you can turn on passive voice checks or you can remove it. So that's possible. Well, earlier it was not there, but after a lot of feedback, Grammarly understood and it has kept this thing. If you want to avoid active voice, stick to passive voice for formality, or you can, it's up to you. It gives you that liberty. But I would also say that of late, the trend is more towards active voice because, the worldwide being, whether it is our social media to be blamed or whatever, attention span is very, very less. So people actually try to focus on the engagement part than the floweriness of the language. That's my take on it. But yes, you entirely have the liberty to put your settings. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for informative session and very nice answers to all the queries.
Thank you. I will just put one final
Yeah.
note. Okay, and again as a life coach. So one of my mentors used to ask me, Ratish, what do you get paid for? So I said, what? For doing my job? I said, no. Think about it. I couldn't come up with the answer. So next day when I met him, he said, did you get the answer? I said, no. I said, what is the answer? So he says, you get paid for what you can get done. He says, if you rephrase that, anybody, my evaluator, my boss, or anybody will really not bother what kind of this thing, sir, I didn't use a tool, but I've ethically written. No, at the end of it, have you got it done? So that's what the expectations are. So as technology institutes, I'm sure you know where I'm insisting on. So think about efficiencies, think about output, and definitely Grammarly will fill in any gaps that you have specifically in those areas.
Right, Ratish.
Yeah.
A heartily thanks to you for taking time out and putting us to a good knowledge of Grammarly and insight. Recently, one question has come in the chat. He's asking how Grammarly works. So it's okay. I think it is a kind of an algorithm for rule-based kind of check or something.
Yeah. No, I
Thank you
agree.
very
That
much,
statement
Ratish.
what
Yeah.
says
Yeah.
no software can detect. Yeah, that way nothing is 100%. I'm yet to see 100% efficient tool. Yeah, but whatever possible, right? So what the best institutes do in current scenario is they take the top. So you have a top checker plagiarism, you have a top writing check, and you've done your best. And yes, and if to my best knowledge, you have a certain leeway. There is probably a bit of percentage that is possible, right? So I think in that context, yeah, this is good. Yes, sir. We can take it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ratish. Thank you very much. Heartily thanks to you. Mr. Binoy, thanks for connecting us to Ratish. It's a really
thank you, sir. You're
wonderful
welcome.
and we are very glad to have joined with you. Maybe in the future also, if we hope that you will be helping us for such programs, let's say. Mr. Uday Kumar, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot for your host.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. We wish you the best and wish you all the academic success this year. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Team Bridge People.
Okay, participants, we have a small change in the schedule. The present session was supposed to be taken by Dr. Amit Joshi, but because of an emergency, he has to go to the hospital for his father. So I'll be conducting this session on creating flowcharts or creating graphics using text. So this was a session which was supposed to be conducted in the next week, but we'll bring it up.
Ravi, should I read bio for you?
Sir, I have already conducted one session, so I don't think that is necessary.
Okay. So let's welcome Dr. Ravi Madikla for leading us to create good graphics, and which could be vector graphics in terms of what LaTeX can include that. And maybe you will come to know about the vector graphics and the normal image graphics and differentiate that. So let's welcome Dr. Ravi. Welcome, Ravi. Sure.
Yes. Thank you, sir. So again, this is, you can say, I would prefer to have it as a hands-on mode. So you can have I believe you're able to see my screen. So again, there's overleaf. I'm going. So you can also try this out. As I'm showing, you can try this out in by keeping this in a part of your window can be your browser and another part can be your WebEx. So that way you can follow this. So this is a demo of this package Tix. So these are not exactly essential now. So we'll look at it as and when these are required. So the document class that I'm using is article. Is my screen visible to everyone? Can you put it in the chat?
Yes, it is visible, Ravi. Ravi sir, it is visible.
Okay. So I think this may be better. Yeah. So you can see here the document class is article. So this can be a thesis, or this can be a book, or a poster, or a presentation. Of course, for them the keywords are different. So accordingly, you can use your document class. And to create these graphics, the package that you need to use, that is included in the use package. So here it is indicated as Tix, T-I-K-Z. URL is the package which I've used to include URL links here. So I have used URL in my references. So you can see the references at the bottom part. So let me show you how we can draw using this text. So I've compiled all of this from the internet. I am not an expert on using text. I have rarely used this, but this is pretty handy and it will give you very good graphics. In case if you have ever wondered about why my figures do not look good when you put it in your paper and submit it, and you get the review comments or during the publication process, the back end, the people like River Valley Organization or STM Docs, what they do, they are more likely to ask you for high quality graphics. So in order to have these high quality graphics, you can use text and you'll never ever face any problem about quality graphics. So you can, I believe you can understand this line. \tigs. If I put this command, it indicates that I'm going to introduce some graphical feature. And \draw tells me or tells the LaTeX compiler that you want to draw something. And within this square bracket, what is to be drawn is given. And after this, there is the source and destination, meaning these are the X and Y coordinates. X and Y coordinates 0, 0 to 40. So if I compile this, what you can see here is just a horizontal line. If I want a vertical line, I can just change this. This becomes a vertical line. Okay. So if you want a, let's say, some other oblique line or something, I believe you're able to understand how this works. Right. And what it is drawing, the text, whatever it is drawing is the line. And what is the width of that line that is given here. So instead of 1 mm, you can see a thick line. If I say 0.5 mm, you'll get a thinner line. So accordingly, you can change your line width and do whatever you would like to do. So this is another similar example. Text draw line with width of 2 mm from 0, 0 to 4, 4. We compile this, we can have a diagonal line. And similar, if you want a circle, this is a line, but here well, let me compile this. This has a this is a line which has a width of 0.5 mm, and well, the 1 and 5 I'm not able to recall exactly the parameters that I used here. So we can always Google up what this means. So well, I think this was the original file from where I had picked this. All of these files would be shared with you. All of these would be available on Canvas. Yeah, the circle. Yeah, the circle operation is followed by a radius in round brackets. So this is the radius, and this would be the starting point. So this is how you can draw a circle, and you can also draw an ellipse. You can change the axis of the ellipse. So this is these define the length of the major axis and the minor axis. Yeah, you can also rotate this ellipse. You have a rotated ellipse, and going further, you can scale it up. So you can see if we use, let's say, the same parameters, 16 and 20. So both the two ellipses that you see on the second page, both have the same parameters between this. But in this, the additional parameter is scale. When a scale equal to 5 is put, it increases it by 5 times. Going further, we can have a grid. So this can also be used for including plots. Now, coming to making some not so common figures, this gives me a single line, and I can club lines together. So this is from 00 to 02, and this goes from 02 to 20, and next one goes from 20 to 00. So this way we can compile a triangle, and instead of putting it in 3 different lines, it's possible to put it in a single line. So I believe you understand how this works now. Okay. And going forward, we have another figure. Oh, well, I have not. So this is again a straight line. And another straight line. So these will give you a axis. And on top of the axis, you can have a circle, or maybe even a rectangle. Or even a parabola, having some defined color. If you want an arc, you can draw an arc. So these are your dimensions and this is your position. Further ahead, this is again just a line now. This is the horizontal line which you see here. On the horizontal line and an arc. So these are different figures which you can draw. This is another one. Okay, I missed out this. Yeah. So if you want dashed lines, you can use this command within this keyword, and the line style is very thick. So we are drawing a circle, and this would give two concentric circles. And you can have another circle enclosing these two. So this last circle is outside this scope environment, so it is not dashed. It is a complete line and it is a thin line. If you want a thick line, you can change it. So this is circles using ticks. And if you want to work with colors, this is an example of how colors can be used. Ticks. This is just a straight line. And another straight line. Another line. So this tells that we want it to be, the cycle needs to be completed. Otherwise, the arc would not be closed. It would not be a closed surface. And we are asking this to be filled. So these are parameters given for a particular color. You can have any color. You can just Google up how you want to put colors in ticks, and you will get your whatever color combination that you want in RGB format. I need to magnify my PDF. Hope this is fine. Well, if you want to type in fish, you need to define fish. That may not be defined. We'll come to a bit more complex figures also. So here you can see we have a line which is first of all defined with a color, with a gray color. After that, we have a circle. This is our radius and this is our starting point. And in between, I think this was not needed. So by using this, I can insert space between two figures, and I have another gray ellipse. So this defines how much of gray I'm using. So if I make it 60, would be seeing a much darker image. So this is another yeah, this completes this figure. We have another ellipse at the end. And text in, how would you insert text in figures? So that is given in this example. Well, this is the one. So if you look at this particular line, so from node A to node B, I'm drawing a line, and the location of node A is 1, 1, and the location of node B is 2, 2, the location or position. So you have this line from A to B, and this line says that you're drawing a line from A to B, and the nodes are circled. So this is how you get it. And this from node D to C to B to A and completion of the cycle, meaning A to D. So this is a rectangle with nodes named as A, B, C, and D. Next, we look at Someone is asking how to use grayscale. For grayscale, this is what you can use. So fill gray, and how much gray you want, that can be defined by this number. And if you want the line color as gray, then you can use this command. So going ahead, this is our, you can look here, node, abstract to, from abstract it is going to in the southwest with a circle. From well, instead of A to B, you can have from abstract to B. You can type in any word here and it will be taken, any word or character that you would like to have. So anchor equal to southwest refers to the point on this line or the circle surrounding this B. So that's what is the meaning of this anchor equal to southwest. And again, the anchor equals northeast refers to this particular corner. So if I say southeast, it will the line will start from here. Sorry, north is up and south is down. Okay, so this is how you can change the position from where the lines can start and end. Now, this is another picture wherein you can have these rectangles. So if you want a rectangle, draw rectangle and indicate the width and height. So this is node N1 and 1 is the text that is inserted in this. So this is that one. On top of that, we have another rectangle with the same width, slightly different width. So this is above 0 of N1. So this is just above this N1 node. And this is the linking part. The node distance is 0. If we change this, that will not just work by itself, but yeah. So this defines what is the distance between node N1 and this particular node. And the next node is another rectangle. And here, the text here, 2, 1 is given here. And the next node is given similarly, with a smaller width, height equivalent to what is given here. And this is right of this. So if we increase this to say 3, then this should put a gap Okay. So if I use this should go further. Well, I'm not sure what is the exact role of this node distance. Probably Google can help you if you're really going into it. So going forward, if you want a rounded rectangle, that also can be drawn with text. Well, this was the code for a rounded rectangle, but it has not come because it needs certain additional packages. The shapes dot miscellaneous is the package that's needed to get rounded rectangles. So you can have rounded rectangle on both sides or just one side that can be controlled by the code that you are inserting. So it's also possible to have this rounded corners using this command also, but it's slightly different from what you get using this. Now, how do you draw a flowchart? So that is given here. It becomes easier if you first of all define what all things you are going to use. There seems to be some error. I think, yeah, this needs shapes and arrows. There's another text library which needs to be used. So here, for a decision box, what do I use? It's a diamond which I need to draw, and this gives the width of the diamond line, and how is the text aligned, and what is the distance between nodes, and all that is defined here. And there's another any other block that is defined as a block in a flowchart that is a rectangle, and the text width is defined and the text is centered, has rounded corners, and the minimum height is defined. So, and if you want a line, you can draw. And if you want a cloud, you can also define that. So these are all keywords which are defined here. So based on the defined keywords here, the flowchart is introduced here. So if I compile this, you can see a nice flowchart that has come up. So if you look at this, the node distance is defined by default So you need not define it for every node. And this is the first node, and it is a block, and the text inside it is given in these curly braces. And a cloud is defined as the, can say, a starting point. So this is left of the init node. So this is the name of the node. So when I say init, it calls this node. So left of init, so to the left of this node. So export is the text that is inserted, and this export is the name of the node. So again, we have another node to the right, that is this, and another node which is block below of init, which is the first block at the center. And this is how you can put the text. So we define each block, the position of each block by right of, left of, below of, and so on. Below of identify is this particular block. This is the node name. And once, of course, yeah. So from here to here, this would be drawing all the nodes only. So in order to draw the edges, you need to define the paths. So here you need to draw a line from init. So init is the node which is defined for this initialized model to identify. So identify is this node. So from here to here, I have a line. Similarly, from identify to evaluate, there's another line. From decide to near start, another line. And the text along the line is given in this braces. And this is the end node. So this is the starting node, and this is the end node. So this is this line. And the next line is from update to identify. So that is update to identify. You can see how clearly it is able to draw this line. You need not specify the path. It automatically takes the path, even though it is not a straight a line. And there's another line from update to identify we discussed, and then there's another line from decide to stop with the text no, that is this one, this line. How to draw flowchart with the text box is what I'm showing. How to draw 3D charts, how to use this drawing into doc file. Well, this is not something which you can use in doc. So this is how you give all the lines. And these are the, you can all see, these are all websites. These are all open source websites. You can all check these links, and these are the websites from which I have taken all these examples. So this is a demo of how you can go for quality graphics. So if this is your figure and you want to scale it, you can maybe just say scale equals 1.5. No, it's not working here. But of course, you would not need to scale it, I believe, because anyway, you would get very clear graphics here. These graphics would never ever have any blurring. Of course, if this figure is copied from a PDF and pasted into a Word document, you will start seeing your blurred lines and text. So that is a possibility. Circuit diagram, I have not used it. Why not? Circuit diagram, there's a package, it seems, circuit diagrams in LaTeX using Snippets. There's a complete tutorial about how you can do it. So what I can do is anyway, I'm already using this use package text. I'll just pick this circuit text. I'll put it in here. Now keep this in mind that all these use things should be above the begin document. And next, begin figure to end figure. I'll just copy this. I'll put it just at the begin. So you have a circuit. I believe we should be able to understand this now. You're drawing this. It's just a line from 0, 0 to 0, 2. And along the line, what you're showing is this. U underscore Q refers to this U subscript Q. So this is not exactly, but the author would like to say this as a voltage source. But of course, this can be defined. Maybe this can be improved further. So from there to short to 2, from 0 to this is a short to 2, 2, and from 2, 2 to 2, 0, it's a resistor. So this circuit text package has defined this V as a voltage source and this R as a resistor. So this R equal to R underscore 1. This is mathematical expression. A mathematical expression should always be within these dollars. So whenever you want an underscore, a subscript, you should be putting a underscore. So here we have this R1, and again a short to 0, 0. So that is this line. So this way it's possible to draw circuit diagrams. I'm not able to understand this query after complete Word doc. modify it and convert into PDF. A Word doc, modify it meaning I don't know what you mean by modifying a Word document. A Word document can directly be converted into PDF. You want the Word document to convert into LaTeX and then into PDF. Is that what you mean to ask? Okay, converting a Word document into LaTeX, get the LaTeX template and insert paragraphs of your Word text into the relevant portions of your LaTeX document. And whatever figures that you have, those, if you want to draw using text or circuit or whatever program, you can use this program. Use this method to generate your figures. Or this is a very handy tool to draw your block diagrams or flowcharts. For any other figures which probably if you are using MATLAB to generate figures, then those figures you can convert into PDF directly, because that is the format which gives you best quality. Okay. Of course, not you won't get the quality as good as what you see with this type of figures, but PDF would be the best that you can get. So once you save your figures in Word into a PDF, those PDF figures can be called into your LaTeX document from by using a path. You indicate where the file is, where the PDF figure file is saved, and you indicate the path to that particular file in your LaTeX program, and it would be called into your document. So that way, it's possible to convert a Word document into a LaTeX document. So it's a doable thing, but it needs a manual. It's a manual way of doing it. I'm not aware of a direct software which can convert PDF to LaTeX. So this is what I was thinking about sharing. I hope you have an understanding of how you can draw using LaTeX. Do we have any more queries? Well, that's a question. When I can draw a flowchart in a Word and insert it in an article without writing a piece of code, what is the motivation for me to use LaTeX to draw? Well, if you're putting it directly in Word and you're converting it into PDF, you would not have any issues. You can continue using Word. LaTeX has its own advantages. But if you want to draw a figure in Word or a flowchart in Word and then try to insert it into LaTeX, you'll not get the quality that you can get by using this method. There's a question. Is your .svg files LaTeX does not import SVG files directly. You'll have to save it into an EPS or a PNG or a PDF and then call it. Inserting text on top of an arrow line, that I think is already discussed in the flowchart. Any other queries? So this is all free. You don't have to pay anything for it. Overleaf is free. If you want to use TechFolio, which is a great application as was demonstrated yesterday, then for TechFolio you'll have to pay. But that again, it's not for individual users, it is for complete organization. That's what they do. Any other questions? Or shall we close this? Well, you need a certain amount of interest to learn. So once you have an interest to learn, then you'll start creating documents, and with time you'll learn. Whenever you're creating a document and at some point it's likely that you may be stuck. So at that point you'll start using Google, and Google would have most of the answers, because this is a completely open source tool and there are a number of users who are using it. And you if you put your problem on something like Stack Exchange or Tech, yeah, it's I think tech.stackexchange, people respond to that. Yeah, tech.stackexchange. So if you look at this website, this is actually a problem which was posted by some user. So he wants round-ended rectangles to use as labels. So he tried something out, but this was not giving the desired output. So he asked, what should I be doing? And he got answers. Just use this and rounded rectangles, and you will get your desired output. And there's another answer which shows another way of getting this rounded rectangle form this way. So there are other options also. So you can see the number of options that people can suggest. Well, want 3D shapes. It's 3D shapes. 3D bodies in text. Well, these are all doable. You can see here. So this is the code which can give you this. The sphere, cone, and truncated cone. So this is the truncated cone, the sphere, the cone. So these you can generate here. And this is the output that you would see. Yes, you can surely create it. You can easily create it for preparing posters also. There is, you can create presentations using LaTeX. So Beamer is the most popular tool which is used for creating presentations. And this Beamer, and even I think this Tix is also used to Beamer as in, if you, okay, let me go out of this. Yeah. So if you open this presentation, here you'll find Beamer templates. There will be many Beamer templates. So you can pick one and edit as per your own use. And here there are poster templates also. So you can also use these poster templates to create your own posters. So Beamer is actually B-E-A-M-E-R. This is a LaTeX package. If you have, you already have your Overleaf account, right? You can just go to your templates and open up template, whichever one you feel like it's good, and just open as template. And here you can see the document class here is Beamer. So this is the most common method of generating presentations, but not the only method. There are even there's also graphs or pictures. You need not upload the graphs or pictures in this presentation slides. You can create the same thing. You see here also, this is also a LaTeX document. So before begin document, you can insert your use package text and the text libraries which you need to use. And after the begin document, wherever you in any of the slides, and each slide in this presentation is within a begin frame and end frame. So within this begin frame and end frame, you can use your text code and your figure will be generated here itself. You need not bring your figure from some other place and import it here. You can directly put the code in here, it will run. The lecture videos are being streamed live on YouTube. You can check these on the EICT Academy YouTube channel. You can always refer to these later. Well, there is someone is asking about moving from one page to another. You can insert hyperlinks. If I click at that particular hyperlink, you'll have to indicate the destination and it will go to that particular slide that is doable. And this hyperlink is provided. This is automatically there in references. Means whenever we use references in LaTeX documents, there are numbers in the documents. So those numbers, if you click at a number or wherever the cite command is there, it will directly take you to that particular reference. So that is there. Moving graphics should be doable. There's nothing which cannot be done. Moving graphics, it's more like, I think, motion graphics, I believe. Yeah, animation using a sequence of images. This can be done. Animation in Beamer, yeah, you can use this. Just type in on Google, you'll get your results. Yeah, as it was mentioned by the people from STM Docs, the CTAN is the repository where you will have most of the packages, not most, I would say, all of the packages. So we have the animate package also. So animation can be done. Yeah, if you have a video, you can, your output is PDF. Well, you can embed video in LaTeX presentation. So that's also there. I haven't done it. I didn't so far, but I can see that it is doable. I haven't done it so far, so I don't know if there is any size limit for the video. You can try it. You can try this. This particular code in Overleaf and check. Of course, Overleaf may have a limited file size, so I don't know how much it is an Overleaf limit rather than the video limit. So I don't see any more questions. So we'll close the session now and we move over to the next session tomorrow at 10:40. Thanks for your patience.